only few people have read it. Only people, few, even among those who read, some read with impression, a premeditated conclusion that, okay, I'm just reading to bring out things that will be useful to my cause, as the politicians have been doing. So that is what is happening. And of course, it is what they say that the papers will publish. What the papers publish is what the electronic media will review. And what the electronic media reviews is what every other person there will inform their opinion through. And that's why you have, even for now, rather than focusing on governance, we are still discussing certificate issue, as if that would tar the roads on our streets, bring down the price of petroleum products, bring down the price of food items, or
result in employment.
bring an improvement to our standard of living. That is the unfortunate part of the whole thing. And when a lot of people have asked me to, what's my opinion on that? Well, I don't have any opinion as far as I'm concerned, because I look at it, what I can only see from the whole thing is someone trying to embarrass the other because he feels aggrieved to have lost out in the election against him, and he knows that he may not get anything out of Supreme Court. So these are things that's what I see in the whole thing. But there's a moral for everyone. No matter how close your friend is to you, for future's sake, because nobody knows tomorrow, you need to have some reservation about yourself, as in what you disclose about your personal life, especially what you call secret with your friend, even your wife now, because you never can tell who will come out to backstab you in future. So these are some of the things that I see, because these guys were friends, we've been allies all along before they had to face each other in this election. And look at all what has come out of it. You know, if Atiku would abandon Peter Obi, really cost him the election and be facing the man that won, then who supposed to be your old friend, and to this level of, you know, trying to discredit whatever achievement the man has got. It shows that our politics is still at that point.
Some people are of the opinion that when you are in when you are in the public space, you are no longer, there's no longer anything private about you. I am not aware of anyone in the public space so high up with controversial. I don't like to put questionable is not appropriate, because that is not the right word. Controversial, because I've been through so much controversy. You cannot apply questionable about, and it comes down to the issue of identity. Don't you think that is something we must get to the bottom of?
That is why I said, whatever you call your secrets, let it.
Are they secrets?
Everybody has one. Let's not go there. But the thing is, the man in question made a lot of mistakes in the past. And even when he had opportunity to set record straight, probably he wasn't thinking, or he was deceived by those who are close to him. You know, he missed those opportunities. If he had done all these things, what is haunting him now wouldn't have been haunting him. The so-called controversy or baggages, as some people have been saying, would not be there. Because this is someone who has been governor for 8 years. He played this in politics to become a governor. That was when the thing was flashed out for the first time. And of course you have someone, but then it was limited to the date of birth. And someone came, well, I pre-filled the nomination form and I made mistake. And that was where the whole matter ended. So the issue of certificates was not really flogged then. Now, everybody has forgotten about it until politics brought them forward again. is politics that brought them out the first time. It's like someone once may said jokingly that if you want to know the exact hour that your father impregnated your mother,
step into the
political arena. They will tell you, and you will be wondering how they knew about it. So that is what is happening, and it's a global thing. I remember the last American presidential debate. Why Joe Biden was calling Trump a tax evader, a criminal. He was also referring to him as a sleeping Joe. That the years he spent in the Senate, half of it was spent sleeping. He wasn't making any meaningful contribution. These are, personal attack, an attack on their respective personality, diverting from the core issue that they were supposed to debate on. So, and in Nigeria, we of course will apply the Africanness into it and make it a little bit, take it to the extreme. That is what we have seen. But as an individual, the moral there is you must ensure that your records are clean. Like the press conference, if he wants to fight back now, he too can be speaking to the certificate of the person, going all out to dig out his own. Okay, your own, present it. We all know that you had OND hygiene as of 2019. But fast forward to 2023, it has become masters. Where is the first degree and all of that? These are things that, like you said, that we who comes to who lives in a glass house shouldn't throw stones.
Because
perhaps the person of Tinubu does not like, fighting that kind of fight. But some people are expecting to also have done that. And immediately after the press conference, some group of people, whether they are paid to do so, whether they did it on their own, also came out to demand that the two of them should also present their own certificate. So it's now about certificates.
Now, this certificate issue, what is it? What is it, as they will say in Yoruba? What is it about? Gun. CSU says he attended the university. So what is the problem? They say the certificate he presented to INEC is the issue. What is the issue about it?
They were saying the format is not is different from the ones that from the sample they got from CSU.
What's the meaning of that?
That points to forgery.
Does it point to forgery? When we know
in the eyes of those who are making
does it point to forgery?
One thing is this. There are people who know the truth, but because the truth is against their interest, they will rather keep quiet about it.
The university simply said that the one we presented to INEC did not emanate from them.
When you apply that to the Nigerian context,
you are saying the Nigerian context
because the issue is a Nigerian affair, and that's why in the disposition, the registrar did say that is a Nigerian thing. That it is you people that when you interpret that, it means that you guys are the ones that
cannot interpret other people's law.
That's what the guy is saying, that you guys are the ones that celebrate certificates.
Okay. When we come back, we're going to dwell more on that and have an understanding. We'll take this commercial break.
My name is Taiwo Kuka. We be twins.
Small. Papa, then they joke say, now only one pikin then they expect. But not two of us they get.
Actually, I mean they expect to, that she didn't get as a wolf.
Beggy, let me,
Anyway, I would like to be like this Momo 100% recharge bonus. When you say you will get double of any amount when you recharge.
go recharge your MTN line now for Momo app or dial star 671 hash now.
Make Momo send you better bonus.
Download Momo app now or dial star 671 hash to enjoy. Momo better pass cash.
One day, so bad with plenty money just appear for inside one Olaniwaju compound. 2 seconds, everywhere burst.
Nobody see my brother. We cannot see now.
Say wetin, as the landlord of this yard, so I will be the rightful owner of that. Now who come get this bag? Now for the new series, Akpo, we go live. Follow the yawa wey burst o. Think of this bag wey money full on top the new Africa Magic Show. Agbo, Onsi the Lord Road and Kasala wey scatter ground from 18 September every Monday and Tuesday by 6:30 for evening on top Africa Magic Yoruba Channel 2. Go TV. Love it.
Attention broadcasters, independent producers, and content streamers. This is your chance to buy or sell quality content. At Africast 2023, the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, will be launching the very first ever Nigerian TV and film content hub. Join us from the 24th to the 26th of October at the Marriott Hotel Ikeja, Lagos, and be part of a game-changing experience. Content Hub is your destination for content acquisitions, aggregation, licensing, and distribution of both local and international programs across for broadcasters in Nigeria. For more inquiries, visit www.africast.com.ng. Content Hub, your easy and affordable access to quality and affordable content. Don't miss out. The Africast Content Hub, brought to you by the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, in collaboration with NIFS.
Are you a dedicated farmer involved in cultivation or livestock farming? Then we've got exciting news for you. Introducing Farm Link Up, your gateway to start selling your farm products faster and say goodbyes to spoiled farm produce. Farm Link Up is the largest online market platform for farmers in Africa and globally. Not only that, it connects buyers to fresh farm products at very affordable prices, and farmers can now sell their products faster. If you are a farmer that has in stock of essential equipment, crops, fertilizers, pesticides, and livestock, Farm Link Up is your one-stop solution. Simply register at farmlinkup.com and start to post your products on the platform for free on farmlinkup.com, as buyers are already waiting for you. For more inquiries, simply call 0901 234 5555 or visit farmlinkup.com directly to unlock the boundless opportunities in the world of agriculture. Farmlinkup.com, connecting farmers to the consumers and the world at large.
You're locked on to the #1 radio station. #1 radio station. In the mix. The mix. And we ain't stopping.
You guys have the best music.
Turn it up. TSOL.
The Remedy. Solutions FM.
Yes, thank you so much for staying with us. Still Solutions on 93.9 FM. Yes, in the sprawling city state of Ibadan. And we're having a conversation this afternoon and two issues. The Middle East, the Palestinians, specifically the Hamas, because the Palestinians have, their own diversity. It is basically the Gaza Strip controlled by Hamas, and of course the state of Israel. We're going to be talking about that later, and of course we're talking about the I don't even know what is it called now? Chicago Gate.
It's Chicago Gate.
Chicago Gate. But basically the core of this issue, amongst other things that surround it, is specifically the certificate. Now, in the deposition that was done, I have 300 something pages. Somebody sent it to me. The issue of, they say the certificate that Bola Ahmed Tinubu gave INEC is not from that university. They say he did not emanate from there, but he attended. They say he attended. He's a product of the university. Now, in Nigeria, that is forgery. Because where did you get it?
Yes. In Nigeria, that is forgery. But in the American system, what we even call certificate is called diploma there.
Yeah.
That is.
It's a college. So it's usually a college diploma.
No, the paper is, the name, the nomenclature for the paper is diploma.
Yeah.
That's what we call certificate. But in the content, it is a degree diploma that he got, which means in Nigerian context, a degree certificate. Now, it is only for ceremonial purpose. In the US system or the American system, or let's say the US system, emphasis is placed on the transcript and not the diploma. Employers, any organization that you want, will request for your transcript. And if you have ever had anything to do over there from here, the academic record they will request from you is the transcript. And even within our law, the transcript is not something that is made public. It's usually in the university records that is only issued based on request. But nobody can even request for it without the consent of the candidate itself, meaning that you are the one that will present the request, requesting that the thing be sent to a particular place. And if you need a personal copy, you request separately for your personal copy. And of course, because of the nature, it is not free in Nigeria. You have to pay before the university will produce one for you or send to the place you are requiring it. So, in the US, emphasis is placed on the transcript. That is the academic record. It is not the paper qualification. So, the academic record, the transcript shows he graduated from the university. He wasn't disowned there. And that was why I think the emphasis now shifted from he didn't attend to there was an error in his qualifying certificate.
Error?
Which is,
I didn't get that.
Yes, his qualifying document from Southwest College. That's where the error initially shifted to.
Okay. What was the error?
And when
the
the social security number didn't tally and it belonged to a female, and the middle name seemed to be somehow.
Now, well, I have a report here that has pulled the rug from under the feet of that, saying that it belongs to a lady, and that lady was actually born in 1971.
So all those. So after that was debunked again, it's also shifted to the fact that he claimed to have finished from Government College Lagos, which was established in 1974, and he claimed he had finished from there in 1971. So all these things are, it was just shifting, and you know that that was what exposed the whole idea. That, okay, the idea is not to confirm whether or not he has attended the school, but to just look for something to embarrass him with. But the thing is, going back to the American system, the emphasis is on the transcripts.
They didn't deny him. He graduated from
over there, once you misplace the ceremonial one given to you, they have third-party agents allowed by the American laws to print a replica of, even according to the law, you can even choose the design, the font you want to, the font size, the signature and all of that. You can choose it. But in the American system, that is just okay, your introduction. They will still go to the college or the university to confirm your record. That is what would determine whether or not they will employ you into their institution or not. So that is the American system. And a lot of people do not understand this. But the lawyers are aware. Those who are, that's why they're changing the narrative.
Don't assume the lawyers are aware. Don't assume Nigerian lawyers are aware. You see, if you are not, I have worked in the university system for years, and I not only worked in the university, I actually worked in exams and records, academic affairs directorate, and exams and records, and I headed the verification. At a point in time, I headed the verification, and up till about 2 months ago, I was still involved in verification from outside the country. Of course, they will ask, they will send the certificate, verify the certificate, but back it up with academic records, which is the transcript. So they just okay, this is the certificate, but let's have the records. You understand? In Nigeria, the records and the certificate are tied.
Yeah.
But they now said the what is submitted to INEC is forgery. In view, we do not know how he obtained it, and he has not said how he obtained it. Is there any information of how he obtained it?
Though not officially confirmed.
Yeah.
But from some of his
Aides and associates.
It's from a third-party agent, and that's what actually sparked the initial controversy. That so you actually graduated from a third-party agent university and not.
Because of lack of understanding.
And 2 days ago, an alumnus of the said university, who was a journalist practicing in the US, a US citizen, you know, also brought out so many revelations about the university that they have brilliant teachers, no doubt, but the management have so many, what is it called, laxity on their part, that it could be what this man is facing is as a result of their laxity. And he was also speaking to the fact that if an alumnus of their school had now risen to be a president of a big nation like Nigeria, that the school ought to have, celebrated him, so to speak. And when I heard that, my take was like, well, it is too early to conclude because his so-called election is still in contest, and that could be delaying the so-called celebration. But I could remember that the alumnus had done that when he was governor, and they gave him a plaque for that. So if that has not been done, we cannot conclude that it has been done. But the man was, he just mentioned it to say that there are two ways to it. It's either the management compromise along the line, or they were, it was a genuine mistake on their part by putting F instead of M in the gender. So these are things that are sparking up controversy with, because we are applying the Nigerian law and system and structure to the American system. And until we understand both, we will not be able. But these are matters that are before the courts. We cannot begin to do the work of the justice of the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
It is just for them to look into and know where the relationship is between the American system and, of course, our own laws here.
You see, I no doubt, these are issues, because I like separating issues. The issue of certificate of the CSU, of course, that one is there. And then there's the issue of controversy regarding basically the president's identity and all of that. Definitely, I mean, I do. If this one goes to court now, because it's about the certificate is submitted, it's not about, well, okay, the issue of the government college Agege or something like that, maybe that one is still there, but they'll have to go and, what's the problem with proving that, really? No, I mean, it's a Nigerian school, so what's the problem in proving that, or disproving it?
The problem with that is the set date of graduation.
So why don't you, he has a certificate, right? HSC.
Yeah, I don't think he has said he has a certificate from there. So they are just saying from the records they got from the university.
Yeah,
and from Southwest or college, which is now Daily College. Those are things that were their findings. But of course, these were oral presentation from the lawyers. They did not really publish those things they claim to have seen.
No, it's in the deposition. The
they have to be documents, not just the disposition. They have to be in the, what is it called, the documents that they would also present. Maybe they have gone to verify, or the so-called, what the president has presented, or what is claimed to get from those universities must be also playable. Because in their own presentations or in their own case, If there are discrepancies, that will also discredit it. And I'm sure the lawyers knows what they are doing. They know what to do. And of course, I believe they've done so. So we wish them well. And we also wish the president well in this ordeal that he has found himself. It is an ordeal because, when you leave certain things undone, it would later haunt you in future. That's where I don't have any sympathy for the president. And that is, like you said earlier, once you are occupying a public, he's the president of Nigeria, Federal Republic of Nigeria, a country of 220 million population. Every single person within that population is interested in the case because he's our president. We want him to have a clean sheet so that he'll be able to settle down and do the job that he has at hand. And if there is fault found in him, yes, there's always a first time to everything. So let those who are thinking that maybe it cannot be removed, forget about that. It can be removed. There is a first time to everything. And if it's removed, heaven will not fall. Governors have been impeached in this country and heaven did not fall.
What I'm thinking is that what damage could this do to Nigeria, as a president re-elected, even if he is cleared by the courts of the land?
Well,
what damage?
In the eyes of the world doesn't really care about all these things that we are crazy about in Nigeria. It is only going to be with locally that don't mind that fraudster that calls himself a president, Jerry. That one that could not even present. But the thing is, if he performs on the job, I tell you, sir, Nigerians will not think about all of that because what everybody is interested in and why everybody is interested in the case is because of the hardship in the land, which is attributed to his policies within the first few days in office. And that is why everybody seems to have this kind of resentment. And that's what I think the opposition is feeding on and want to use against him or to use to their own advantage. But the thing is, if he scales through and performs on the job, and he feels he wants to run again, people will not look at the records. They will look at his performance, and that will be the basis for their decision.
I remember, yes, it's not about identity. It's also about character of the days of Monica Lewinsky. Clinton was impeached by the Senate, by the
House of Representatives.
And when they did opinion poll, Americans said they're not concerned about his private life. Is he performing as president? That is the economy performing? What is the employment rate saying? Are those positives?
To buttress that, Americans rally around their president, no matter the baggage he may have. Even the media, if he's someone that is performing, will protect that image. For instance, how many people are aware that Roosevelt, FDR, the famous FDR, spent most of his time on wheelchair?
Oh, yes.
And he got 2 re-elections on wheelchair. People were not aware that he was on wheelchair because both the media and the American society protected their own. And on wheelchair was commanding a war effort, Second World War, and even went and traveled to negotiate peace after the war. So these are things. And when you fast forward to 1963, before Lewinsky was not the first candidate in the White House. He started with John F. Kennedy.
Oh, yes.
With a particular lady named as Marilyn Monroe.
Marilyn Monroe, yeah.
So, but that was not out until years later, after the man had died. Even then, that it was in the news, people were like, well, in it, and this man is mine and all of that. But the secret affairs was not really secret because there were people in the White House that witnessed this whole thing.
Yeah.
But the lady himself, also died mysteriously years after the man was assassinated. So these are things. But when he was in office, the protection was there. Everybody rallied around. They did not embarrass the institution. They did not embarrass the personality of the president. These are things that we should learn from. But, Africans would always be Africans. And we are the only ones that we allow other people to push us against each other. And that's why even if the person is performing, if some people somewhere do not like him, they will sponsor opposition against him and begin to say all manner of bad things about him. For instance, Libya. When Gaddafi was there, an average Libyan was comfortable. They get a quota from whatever is sold from their oil. You are getting married, government will sponsor your wedding, give you an apartment, give both couples job. The Human Development Index of Libya under Gaddafi was higher than several European countries. It was in the top 20 globally. And despite all this performance, grade A infrastructure, grade A standard of living was what the Libyans were enjoying. Despite all this, because some people do not like him, they went and looked for a generation who've not seen any other person but him as their head, and they began to sponsor opposition against him.
Yeah.
And today the man died, and the glory of Libya died with him. So today Libya is more or less a failed state. So these are things that Africans allow to happen to itself, or we do to ourselves, which is really not helping. We should always rally around. Even once the man is elected, in Nigeria, I'm even disappointed in the fact that we are so-called religious nation. And
they say we are religious without being godly.
This is pointing to our lack of godliness. Because if we are godly, that means we believe in God. That means we believe that in Romans 13, leaders, the powers that be, are ordained of God. I wouldn't have gotten to that office if God had not sanctioned it. So why are we struggling with all these things? These are things.
You see, for me, I like to, you see, it is not tidy for a man's identity, anyone's identity, to look like a mystery or shrouded in secrecy and then be controversial. Well, I don't want to use any other word than controversial. And that person is our leader.
Exactly.
100 million plus people. That is not tidy. That, in fact, it is not acceptable. So I hope all of this will put it behind us. And when we spend the whole year doing that, you know, the distraction. Look at the economic situation in the country. Look at where we are located. We need to move forward. We do hope that the Supreme Court will resolve all of this. And,
no, they will put an end to it. But those who are behind this have achieved their aim, like I said.
Which is?
Discrediting the personality. But you can't blame them. I said that earlier.
Personality apparently located himself in a
situation put himself in that tight corner,
and which was avoidable.
He attracted all this bashing to himself, and that is the lesson for everyone. And the moral there is always come clean. Always come clean. There's no.
Anybody can go to where I studied. I don't. What is it? What is it? You don't lay claims to what you are not. These are the consequences. It is very untidy. Yes, let's go to the Middle East. Friday night, Saturday morning, the Hamas breached the barricades and moved into Israeli territory. In fact, they headed for where a concert was holding. Not less than 250 bodies have been recovered in that location alone. But, and of course, abducted about 100 people. Expectedly, or is it not unexpectedly, the state of Israel has actually now declared war. And I was reading reports. I was reading a particular outlet, and the report streaming in says nothing less than 1,000 people were killed in Israel, and about 500 and something people now have been killed in Gaza Strip, and the bombardment has been ceaseless. Why would the Hamas do that when they know that Israel is going to respond in a very vicious? It's like you're scratching somebody with a pin. and then the person comes with you at you with a sledgehammer.
You know, as an historian, we used to look at events, a development, when we want to look at the cause.
The immediate and remote causes.
The immediate and the remote causes. Now, people will always focus on the immediate cause of this development. And what is the immediate? Hamas launched an attack on the Israel. But what about the remote cause? The remote cause would always be dated back to 1947.
Yeah, the creation of
the state of Israel on Palestinian territory without considering them. And that has
they were given a portion. They refused it. They rejected it.
No.
They said the land belongs to them.
Not that they rejected it. At the UN General Assembly recommended a two-state solution.
For Palestine.
Yes, separate state for each of them. That was vetoed by the US. And that was what really caused the problem. Until date, they have not really, they are simply structuring the service. The Hamas group is one of these fundamentalist set of people who believe that an injury, an injustice done on them is a debt that will be repaid sometimes in future. There was a time Israel mounted siege on Gaza. For months, the whole world was crying. They did not leave the parish. They didn't listen to anybody until the U.S. intervened. It is always the U.S. that the Israelites listen to. So these are the remote causes. A particular mosque that is so precious to them was desecrated the other time. In fact, they were even attributing that as the immediate.
That's actually the immediate cause.
You understand? So when you look at all of this, and what is surprising to so many people is the way and manner the Western powers were hurriedly taking side.
What do you mean hurriedly taking side?
Yeah. Biden called Netanyahu and said, our relationship is rock solid. I'm sending more weapons to you.
The biggest carrier.
You understand? When you have that, and you look at the so-called Hamas, the entire Gaza is not bigger than Lagos State.
Yeah, 360-something square kilometers.
It's not bigger than Lagos State.
Backing the ocean.
Yes. It's not bigger than Lagos State.
Just one strip.
And you are sending that kind of artillery for a territory. That means you should just drop an atomic bomb here and wipe up the whole place.
You know the configuration of interest there. You know when it dates back, Iran is there. Syria is there. Lebanon is there. Egypt, yes, Egypt has calmed down. Egypt bore the brunt of all the trouble they had. But you see, the state of Israel, is there no way they can find a peaceful way of coexisting with Israel? The existence of Israel has become a reality.
When there was problem in Yugoslavia, each of the interest group were allowed to go their separate ways. Even after that, those others that are like, for instance, what's it called now? What's the name of these states? Serbia and Montenegro were together. But when they saw that the marriage could not work, they still further separated. Ditto to Czechoslovakia.
Czechs and the Slovaks.
You understand? So when you have that, and the UN would allow that, but when you have this selective justice taking place, Sahrawi has been struggling against Morocco, they will not be allowed to go.
No,
Catalonia has been struggling. Catalonia has been struggling against Spain, they will not be allowed to go.
It is now Sahrawi.
Biafra has been struggling against Nigerian states, they will not be allowed to go. So when you have all these things in place, create the state of Palestine. Let them know that they are independent. They can set their government the way they have.
Where will the state of Palestine be?
That is what should be the subject of discourse.
Where?
And that's the reason why the capital was not in Jerusalem in the first instance. It was moved to West Jerusalem by Trump. It was in Tel Aviv. Tel Aviv is not close to Jerusalem. And they are fruits.
moved by Trump. How would Trump move there?
He moved his embassy.
He moved his embassy.
And technically, that is a way of saying,
But
well, this is the recognized capital.
Don't forget
of
that when the Israelis, we don't want to call them Jews, when they seized the other half of Jerusalem, I remember it was this general with one eye, Moshe Dayan. He was the chief of army staff, and they hoisted the flag, and they said, "This is the Tara capital of of Israel." You know, and I remember the 1973 war. Golda Meir was the prime minister, and it was on Yom Kippur Day that Israel was attacked by Egypt, Syria, and Jordan. And of course, they almost overran Israel. But Israel, you know, reorganized and was going to march on Cairo. They were barely 100 kilometers away from Cairo. And they surrounded the 3rd Army. It's like the 3rd Division of Nigeria when it used to be, when we will have 50,000 men. You know, it surrounded the entire 3rd Army of Egypt. And I remember that it was the United Nations were dropping, you know, food and all of that. Israel surrounded a whole division, you know. So isn't it, when you are in a relationship, one small country like Israel, you know, and Israel is just grabbing land, gave some of it back, and then only God knows what they're going to do.
That idea of Israel being a small country is Western conspiracy. I've always argued that Israel is not a small country.
In size?
In territory it is. But when you see the Israel as currently constituted or organized is Western powers' creation, and it's their baby, they will protect it to their life. So when you see the might being demonstrated,
of course, you know that.
How many people are aware that annually Israel gets $3 billion military aid from the United States?
No, that is that is. Look,
imagine if Palestine is also getting something similar from other. Do you think we are going to be talking?
The Arabs not providing?
There's what we call look, Arabs. The West is there. America is policing the Arab nations.
So whose fault? Why are the Arabs?
That is why, you know, Fela will be saying, "Who and who unite for United Nations."
Why are the Arabs not supporting them?
Because they have this tendency. They are romancing the Arabs. For instance, there's a cordial relationship between Saudi Arabia and the United States. But on this issue, Saudi is subtly backing Palestine.
No, they were already on the way to agree with Israel. America was already
before the issue.
Yes.
But they are subtly backing Palestine. Iraq has taken a position. Obviously, it's Palestine. Lebanon have also taken a position.
What do you expect? Hezbollah in Lebanon.
So Egypt is
which Lebanon are we talking about? Which Lebanon?
Since Camp
is there a government in Lebanon?
Egypt since Camp David has been honoring that agreement. They've been neutral. They've not been interfering. They've not been interfering in the affairs of
Egypt bore the brunt of. This is Golan Heights. We are going to march on Cairo. One day, Sadat, when he got tired of it, he just flew into Tel Aviv. Just gave them a few hours notice. You remember the 1967 war, the 6-day war? The Air Force of Egypt, 2/3 of it was destroyed on the ground. So, Egypt realized the impossibility of their situation, that we have to live in harmony or in accord with these people.
Because they understand that Israel is not alone.
So, why are others not going to understand that?
Others wanted equal recognition. For instance, you allow Israel to have a nuclear capacity.
Allowed?
You are suspecting. Remember how Saddam Hussein was removed?
Even in
He
Iran.
was alleged to possess a weapon of mass destruction.
Yeah.
Nuclear weapons are weapons of mass destruction.
Yeah.
You understand? So why would you allow some people to have access to the weapon and discourage or disallow others from having?
Operating in this.
When you are talking about balance of, we know Russia.
There is no balance.
That's why Russia would always laugh and call the bluff of the US when they with the activity, and that was why during the Arab Spring of 2011, they allowed them get away. But when they got to Syria, Russia intervened, and that's the reason why Assad is still there till date. So those are things that had happened in the past, and a state like Russia would always look from the rear. And when the US is now, they may be slowing down because they're also busy with Ukraine.
Yeah.
They may be slowing down, but it doesn't mean Putin would keep quiet or they would not really assert their position on the matter at the UN Security Council.
Yeah,
so these are things.
I saw the foreign minister, making some noise today. There be some noise.
So when all these things are there, if the West is ready for peace is not inevitable. They know what to do. And if they are not, now they are dealing with a group of people who are not afraid of death. Why is this thing making news so fast? Because Israel is solving casualty that is unprecedented.
Yeah.
You understand? That is why the news is so echoing. It is not news that Palestinian has lost 2,000 lives. It's not news due to Israeli attack. That is not news. The news is that Israelis are losing now.
Has been cut. They are mobilizing 300,000 men. When they are done with the pounding, they will now move in
to occupy more lands and build the said area that was attacked. Do you know those were the areas that were seized? And those people were brought in from the main Jerusalem to come and settle there. And Israel built residential areas for them.
Israel itself started as kibbutz. That's how they started. And I remember, it's been a state. Israel has been permanently in a state of war. It is now.
Even from the Bible days, it's never been at. So that's the thing. And of course, they need to if the West will begin to preach peaceful coexistence, there will be peace in that place.
Remember, Palestinians were expelled from Algeria, where they were just Arafat.
Mm-hmm.
And you know the interesting thing, we are not even hearing anything from the PLO leader.
No, they have also.
He's safe in Ramallah.
No. If you look at the news coming out from Ramallah is they are in a state of preparedness.
For what?
For any eventuality.
They
will not disown their home.
Israel is not going to strike there.
But Israel is saying that they don't have any issue with them.
They don't want to go there.
So they don't have any issue with them. But attention has been shifted to Gaza since the time of the blockade that Israel mounted.
Since Hamas won the election in Gaza, that has been the problem.
So those are things. And when you look at that, if truly, and it's because they are not a recognized state, if they do, then the cloth of sovereignty will be upon them, and that will put a stop to Israel's existence. But, and that's what they are asking for.
From who?
The United Nations.
Why do they need recognition of the United Nations?
Because if they don't do that, Israel would always take advantage of any spark to grab land, invade the territory, and commit all manner of atrocity there. And of course, the West will look the other way. There will not be any media hype if it's that. If it's only when it's the other way around. So when you see this conspiracy, we need to speak to it so that those who are not really aware, in a country like Nigeria, we apply religion to it. And I've always tell people, Israelites are not Christians. So you should forget, you should always, don't think they are not Christians.
They're not Christians.
So don't bring religion into this issue. It's pure politics, international politics. That is what is going on. So if you don't know anything about it, keep quiet.
That's too much ignorance to start saying Christianity versus
That is
Islam.
what, look, by next Sunday, you see what some pastors will be preaching in their churches. You understand? The other day when Iran had issues, some people protested in Nigeria because they believe Iranians are, meanwhile, we have more of Shia, the Sunni Muslims here.
Yeah,
They're not
and
Shiites.
those are Shiites. The
So these are
extreme
some things that people are ignorant of.
Even in Saudi Arabia.
The only
Iraq.
Shiite movement we have is the one headed by
Kaduna.
Sakis. And when he was when he was arrested the other time, President Buhari got a call from Iran, and he told him that, well, it's a state affair that he's not been given the situation report in Kaduna State. I can't just use his federal might to interfere within the local affair. That was the response the president gave to the man that called from Iran. So when you have situation like, I have to say this because Nigerians will begin to now attach all manner of things to the development, which is always going to take religious dimension. So they should forget about it. I'm saying it again. Israelites are
was
not
going to do
Christians.
something and get Israelis to get it done. And Morris issued a statement that Wike should not invite Israelis. Israel is located in the desert. They are feeding themselves and exporting all sorts of things. Why should we not go and learn from them?
I wonder.
Well, thank you so much for staying with us. Solutions 93.9 FM. We've been talking political updates. We talked about the Nigerian space. And we talked about the Middle East, that hotbed. And I think there's a thread that links the two. And that thread is know your facts. I will remember what Oluwasegun Awolowo said. He said, facts are sacred. Opinion is free will. Facts are sacred. Facts today may not be facts tomorrow, but truths are forever truths. Truths don't become lies. Lies don't become truths. Facts today may no longer be facts tomorrow, but truths are constant, but facts are sacred. Know your facts. Have your facts. Don't dwell on opinions and delusions that may set this country ablaze. Thank you so much, Mr. Ayodeji Ajisope. It's a pleasure having you.
Thank you for having me.
God bless you all. God bless our union. Bye for now.
All about information, education, and entertainment.
Maybe that's before now. Solutions 93.9 FM has raised the standard of radio broadcast to preferring solutions in all human angle. 93.9 FM, the remedy.
Basira, oh my me. Òjò ló ti ṣúbọlẹ̀ yìí o. Tara ṣàṣà kó o lọ gbápòlẹ̀ tí mo gbé sẹ́ńkù léhun. Kó o sì mọ́ gbàgbé tí mo gbé sínú ilé ìdáná náà. Kó o gbé gbogbo ẹ̀ kó o dà sójú odò kágbàrá ó gbé lọ.
Mo ti gbọ́ máì mi. Mo ti gbé tàrín ọ̀dẹ̀ náà. Gbogbo ẹ̀ ní gbé lọ sínú odò kágbàrá gbé lọ.
Inú odò àbí kí n la ìyá Bàṣírá. Pẹ̀lú bí ìjọba ṣe ń pariwo kájá mi nù à ń dalẹ̀ sínú àgbàrá. Tí àjọ tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ pàjáwìrì náà sì ń kígbe tantan. Àjọ onímẹ̀tì náà ń lo aago òkìlọ̀ lórí ìkún omi tó lè wáyé síbẹ̀síbẹ̀. Ká tún yà kọlọ̀rọ̀ sí ẹ̀dá. Ẹ tún lọ ń dẹ ìgbín sójú sómi. Tó bá dí tán tí kò mí bẹ́ sílẹ̀ ta ni yóò fara gbà. àwa ẹ̀ náà ni kì í ṣèjọba ṣé ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ ẹ̀kún omi ọdún 1960 tó fi mọ́ tọdún 1978 àti 1980 pẹ̀lú tọdún 2011 tó àbí èyí tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní àwọn ìpínlẹ̀ lọ́dún 2022 lẹ́wà Nàìjíríà ṣé kò tó kókó wà lọ́gbọ́n. ó yá gbé ogbà àpolẹ̀ tó gbé wọn padà tójò bá dá tán kó lọ gbé síbi tíjọba pèsè ká máa dalẹ̀ sí kí àwọn kólẹ̀kúdọ̀ tí ó lè wá kó ẹ̀ mọ́ ìyàlétí lápá.
Kò yé mi ni ó yá Bàṣírá gbé padà.
Ìkéde yìí wá láti ìkànnì ọ̀nà àbáyọ Solutions 93.9 FM.
Ayọ̀ká ebi ń pa mí bá mi gbé búrẹ́dì àtọbẹ̀ mi kíá àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ mi dúró dè mí.
Màámi, Ekú mà ti jẹ búrẹ́dì.
Búrẹ́dì èwo? Bá ń gbé kí rẹ́ dànù.
Màámi, wọ́n mà sọ fún wa nílé ẹ̀kọ́ pé tí eku bá ti fẹnu kan oúnjẹ tàbí ṣe gá sínú oúnjẹ a ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ ẹ́ torí òun ló ń fa ibà ọ̀rẹ̀rẹ̀ lassa fever.
Lassa àbí lassa ẹ tún ti dé o àtayédáyé ńlá tí ń rẹ ẹnu eku kúrò tá à ń jẹ bí asá ẹ̀gẹ́ tàbí èlùbọ́ síta eku ó tọ̀ wọn ó ṣe gáàsì táàsì lọ́mọ gàrí tàbí láfún wa àfi ṣararidi ni sórí èyí tó wí yóò wọlé tún lọ wá mi wá sórí búrẹ́dì yìí jíjẹ ní jẹ.
ìyá wa òótọ́ mà láyọ̀ ká sọ bí eku bá ṣe gá tàbí ṣàyọ̀ sórí kódà tó bá fẹnu sí oúnjẹ báyìí ọ̀dọ̀ jẹ́ nítorí pé ó léwu ó sì lè dẹ́nu.
na you mad pass for this office o I say na you mad pass for this office you no stop this the program don stop now tey wey for why you no share.
tó jẹ mọ́ ibà ọ̀nà fún dídùn orí fífọ́ kára ó máa roni gooro àyà
CNN ló fẹ́ lọ àbí orí ẹ̀ yí ibi kankan wá ti bẹ̀rẹ̀.
kí inú máa dùn onítọ̀hún tàbí bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ tètè kọrí sílé ìwòsàn tó wà lágbègbè rẹ láti lọ ṣàyẹ̀wò.
o ọ̀gá kò stop.
Why you no stop am now?
Ìkéde yìí wá láti iléeṣẹ́ Solutions 93.
àbí nẹ̀ náà máa finish program.